down my boat!
You heard the rest. Now here's the best. Stay Tuned Sports Podcast with Jimbo and O'Brien.
And yes, folks, there's a new intro there to our very popular podcast show, sports show, whatever you want to call it. So, yes, it's your good friend Jimbo here. And unfortunately, no, I can't play that with you. We got O'Brien here, back-to-back weeks.
Hola, amigos.
And Juan.
It is I, Juan. I am taking over this show. I came on here to tell you something. Check out what I got for my ringtone.
Oh, okay. Oh, you got shit for your ringtone.
Get out of here. Hey, stop that horse shit. That team sucks this year. But amigo, I'm trying to be your friend. Get out of here.
Oh, I just figured it out.
It's me, O'Brien, back. Goddamn punk. How does he do that?
Is Juan out of beer?
I guess.
Because he knows I drink, so, and you drink very little.
Jesus.
Liquoring me up.
The guy goes to take a piss and he jumps in my spot. I don't understand what's wrong with him. I'm just trying to be your friend.
Well, you know what, Juan? Thank you for that intro, for coming up with it. It was very, very cool and off the wall.
Oh, thank you, senor. I just don't know how I got so deep.
Oh, I could tell you, but that is for a Patreon account that we have.
Well, that is a different show. I don't even know why we do this with him.
So already 20 seconds into the show, it's already off the rails.
Yeah.
So how you doing, buddy? Well,
good. How are you?
Minus Sunday. Let's take that all out.
But I mean, let's just get into this because I'm so aggravated. Yeah. Now we had our discussions, okay, and we thought of Miami of all people we couldn't beat.
Yeah.
So our offense shows up and puts up 31.
Yeah.
And how did we lose, Jimbo?
Basically, schoolyard football.
Yeah.
Throw it up and catch it.
The defense allows 37.
And here's the thing, too. The really messed up part, three-quarters of that defense, I say we blame. Defensive line, They showed up. You got to admit, they were getting pressure, they were getting sacks.
I mean, I like Ryan Fitzpatrick, but he ripped us apart.
Because all he did was throw it up Devontae, just Randy Moss it. That's all. And after the first time, you'd think Jim Schwartz would have been like, maybe I should put a little taller cornerback on him.
No, he was like, hey, wait a minute. This is the Dolphins.
Yeah.
At the end of the game, he's like, I figured it out. Game over. Oh, shit. Like, I was like, so pissed off. Like,
yeah.
Again, and I know you said, well, once again, if they get in the playoffs, it's any given Sunday, blah, blah, blah. I get that.
Yeah. I don't want to get
terrible.
In the playoffs. Yeah. And you know, I did give us a chance up until the freaking Madden Play of the Year, the fake field goal, fake whatever you want to call that. 'Cause I don't even know what to call that play.
Right.
That the punter threw a touchdown to the fucking kicker.
Yeah, I know.
No one decided.
It was like a shuttle underhand off his knee.
Yeah.
It was garbage.
I mean, obviously it had to be legal because they didn't throw no flags or anything, but...
Well, who knows what these refs... But
exactly. I mean...
as of that week, it was legal.
Yeah.
But I
mean, the wife was upstairs wrapping Christmas gifts, and the oldest's birthday was last week, but she came down, and she's like... And I'm just laying there on the couch, just numb. And she's like, how you doing? And I just looked at her and I said... The punter threw a touchdown to the kicker. And she goes, wait, what?
Yeah.
She's like,
are you drunk?
I know I'm somewhat new to football, but I thought the quarterback throws the football. I said, that's where we're at this season.
Right.
She goes, okay, I'll go back upstairs.
And again, I wasn't overly impressed with the wide receiver corps. Sorry.
No.
And it gets into my other debate. We had the debate about DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said, oh, what has he done this year? Blah, 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 blah. And I said, okay, smartass. So what would be a good season for a wide receiver?
For a receiver, like
how many yards?
Nowadays, 1,200, 1,500.
Okay, 12, 1,500.
Yeah.
Okay. Usually the 1,000-yard mark is an average.
Average, okay.
Not for one, not for starting receiver, for wide receiver 2.
Okay.
So 1,000 yards, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me hit you with a little facts there, okay?
Go ahead.
Because you're so high and said he sucks this year.
I didn't say he sucks. I said he's slow now. He hit a rookie wall. He was very good in the beginning of the season.
No, I don't think he hit a rookie wall. We'll just put it this way. I'm going to do this. So we figure each team has at least 4 wide receivers that start and play average.
Yeah, I mean, you got to figure it out.
So 4 times 32.
Jesus Christ. 120, 132.
We'll just say we're going to keep it easy for everybody. 130 receivers that legitimately play and should be on a ranking. So the top receiver being number 1 and the 130th receiver is still an active player, not counting the 5th and 6th receiver sometimes that catches balls and all that other crap. Okay?
Yeah.
So let's just do this. Receiving yards a game, okay? He's ranked 33rd.
Okay.
Receiving yards a game.
Okay. How many yards a game?
That's number 1 second receiver.
Yeah.
Up to date. This is to this minute right here.
Okay.
Okay? Then we have, we'll say, total yards. He is
Now, again, you're saying
27th.
he's a number 2 receiver.
Right, but I'm just saying, your comparison was he's not that good this year. So he's 27th in yards. He's above, okay, Larry Fitzgerald, Devontae Adams, Cole Beasley, Randall Cobb, A.J. Brown, Emmanuel Sanders, Tyreek Hill, Will Fuller, Jamison Crowder, and I can go on. Okay, so he's there.
4 or 5 of them missed substantial amount of games.
Okay. And now, then we have, let's just go receiving touchdowns.
Let me just stop you there then. And
receiving touchdowns.
Hold on, let me ask you this then. So let's do the hypothetical. And JJ got drafted by Seattle and we drafted DK. Do you really think he'd be playing over Aguilar right now, knowing how these coaches
But
have
when
been?
he gets in, he would make the best out of it. I think he was better than Whiteside. But here, let me finish this. This is the last category.
Okay, go ahead.
Receiving touchdowns.
Okay.
The number 1 receiver in the league is tied for 3 people with 9.
Okay.
Okay, that's Chris Godwin, Kenny Galladay, and Marvin Jones Jr.
Yeah.
Okay? He's ranked 22nd
Okay.
with 5. Currently tied with, it's a long list. Tied with Jarvis Landry, Julian Edelman, Stephon Diggs, John Brown, Keenan Allen, Allen Robinson, Cole Beasley, and let me make sure I didn't pass. Okay, so we got a couple more. Tyreek Hill and a couple other guys.
Yeah.
T.Y. Hilton.
Okay.
So you're telling me out of that list you wouldn't take any of those receivers?
Oh, well, I mean, I would take Tyreek Hill, but again, he was hurt. Jarvis Landry said he has 5.
Right.
Yeah,
But we're talking...
I'm pretty sure he had the 5 against the Eagles this past Sunday.
I'm just saying, though, but the thing is... Well, no, because he's on Browns with Odell Beckham.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
But my point is, 22nd,
But you're
tied with all those people,
yeah.
and...
But you're comparing a number 2 receiver to a number 4 receiver because that's where the coaches have him.
Who?
JJ. This argument between me and you have always been.
I'm saying
I
you don't
wanted
think
JJ.
he would have been a better draft choice.
Maybe. And maybe not. Maybe JJ would be the DK if he got drafted by Seattle because of how they use DK compared to how we use
He only
JJ.
has like 40-some receptions.
Because he's the number 2 receiver, which means he gets the second look.
There, he's actually listed as 3 on Seattle.
Who's their second receiver?
Tyler Lockett and the other guy. I'd have to
Bobby
look up.
Boucher?
Yeah, Bobby Boucher. Yeah.
But even if, okay, again, JJ is pushed down that lineup now. Now, granted, last week was the first week without Jordan Matthews. JJ got his touchdown, plus had a couple catches. Not really that matters, but with Matt Collins being
Another bum.
Unrightfully cut from the team. Now all we got to do is get rid of
They
Aguilar.
have Josh Gordon.
That they just picked up.
No, like 5 weeks ago.
Oh, 2 weeks ago.
No way.
Yeah. Maybe
And-
3 tops. Because everybody wants
And
Philly.
David Moore. He's a good receiver too.
Yeah.
I'm
But-
just saying, like,
No,
I think DK would have been a better pick. It's my opinion.
And talent-wise, maybe. But if the coaches don't use them the right way, like JJ...
But how are they undoubtedly... we know that JJ's drop passes, and he's had some struggle issues getting open when he was on the field. Correct or not?
Yes and no. There was a couple passes that, even though I'm a Wentz defender...
I'm just saying ones that he could have caught that dropped.
Yeah.
And he can't get open.
Yeah.
He hasn't gotten open.
Okay.
That's the biggest complaint about our whole receivers corps, correct?
Yes, as a whole.
Right. So DK comes in as the second and third and gets open with his opportunities.
And also, JJ, again, like I said...
And how many 50-50 balls would he have won?
Well, I mean...
We can't speculate. Obviously, it's a different offense. I understand that. But I don't see
again,
how you can say you would rather JJ. I know you love him.
Yeah.
You're an Eagle. You're an Eagle through and through.
I think these next couple weeks, you're going to see a little bit more production out of him because of all those people that should have been...
So how many weeks is left, and he needs 200 yards to go over 1,000, DK?
How many weeks are left? This is week 14.
Right.
So you got, 3 weeks left?
Right.
And how many yards does he need?
200.
So roughly 90, just say 90 yards a game. No. 60.
We'll say 75.
70, okay.
That'll put him at 225.
Well, then he's no good. He's got to be 200. Even.
Oh, my God. All right, folks. I don't know what else to tell you. I try hitting
No,
this
but
crowd.
I mean, again, just with how these coaches are using this offense.
Right, but we put up 31 points with the scrubs we have.
We did.
And our defense failed. That's not my point. I get it.
One of the touchdowns.
But I just wanted to say that I truly believed in DK Metcalf.
Yeah. And, I mean, you always said it. I'm not, bashing you for it or anything. It's just that
right.
I just think the roles, if he was here, he'd be in the same role situation.
Yeah, I think he would have
is.
outshined. I think he's a little more of a go-getter and was hungrier than JJ. JJ seems to be complacent.
But even if he showed that he was hungry and everything,
And
he's
the
not
stupid
going to...
penalties he's taken.
Sure that wasn't Max Hollins?
No, it was JJ. He did it the one game. He took away a touchdown from us for.
Yeah, Miles Sanders' first touchdown, the holding penalty.
Regardless,
that was the only time I really.
There's a couple others. I'm telling you, man. But I mean, I didn't pull the stats, so I can't argue it.
But I do, since we're talking about stats, whatever. I've been saying this about 4 or 5 weeks now. If we pass 40 plus times, and again, I don't know if you're losing
I agree.
faith.
We need to run the ball.
Yeah.
And I want to know, do you have the history on what's wrong with Jordan Howard all of a sudden?
For the past, how long has he been out now? 2-3 weeks? They've been saying a stinger.
A stinger, yeah. My ass.
But now they're saying shoulder, which I guess would be the same basic
3
thing.
weeks, man.
Yeah.
Another one.
But even that, Miles Sanders this past game.
He looked great. I'm not saying I was. Who wanted Miles?
No, I know.
I was excited.
This is why I don't understand. And then some jabroni fucking Philadelphia writer said that, the running game couldn't get going. They were averaging 5 yards a carry. How much more can it get going? Off of
I agree.
Off of 19 carries
There's
total.
questionable offensive calls, period.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Some of these gimmick plays, I don't know when you say gimmicks. It's screen, over the middle pass, long pass, screen, run it up the middle, it up the middle. Like, there's no... listen, we're Eagles fans.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love screenplays. I think they're one of the coolest plays out there, and they could bust for big plays.
Right.
Only should be used if your quarterback doesn't have time to throw the ball.
Right.
If they're blitzing or if the front four is getting through. But
it seems like we go to it a lot. It's almost predictable.
Well, Seattle, the one linebacker came out and said that our plays are predictable. They were calling the plays out even before they called
right.
them.
Doug Peterson's got to step up and get this going.
Yeah. And
to me, the biggest disappointment this year is him.
Yeah.
And I can't knock him. He won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I get it.
And I think the Super Bowl is the only thing that's saving his job right now.
Right.
I think that buys him another year, maybe 2.
What is the chances of Foles coming back?
He's going to have to come back for a lot less money than what he got in Jacksonville.
But they might,
They won't trade him.
You never know.
Come on, we got Josh McCown. No, but I mean, we're going to have to get a backup because obviously McCown's going to retire again for the 45th time.
Well, maybe he'll stay one
Nate
more season.
Sudfeld, he's probably going to walk.
He's garbage.
He's not even a good backup. But getting back to the coaches, right? The reason why I kept bringing up about that was, did you see about what Chris Mortensen said?
No.
He said Chris Mortensen himself hasn't talked to Jeffrey Lurie, or Lurie hasn't responded to any of the text messages from Mortensen, but him knowing Lurie's past with coaches, if you're not hitting the goals or expectations, do not be surprised, barring a playoff run, minus Doug Peterson, all the coaches are going to be gone. They're all going to be fired.
Okay, I did see that article about major coaching changes.
Yeah.
But doesn't that really come down to Doug making that move?
Yeah.
It's his staff.
It is.
Lurie picks the head coach picks his staff.
Yes. But
so
it could be one of those, Lurie sit down, hey, I think you should get rid of your coaches. Doug Peterson says no. Lurie says, then, well, I'll fire you, then I'll fire them. Because once Peterson's
right,
gone,
he can, but I don't see Lurie doing that.
Yeah. There's only one coach I would like for them to bring back, and that's Deuce. I still think to this day Deuce got screwed over for the coordinator job. I still think Deuce should have been it. It's proven he knows how to rotate those running backs the right way. He knows the system.
Right.
He played in a system, and as much as we hate the coach, Chip Kelly.
Well, then there's your major change. Why not just take your offensive coordinator, then get rid of him?
Exactly.
Bring in Deuce.
Yeah.
And there's your shakeup. But I think, I don't understand Jim Schwartz, because last year we looked great.
Yeah.
And now this year it's like
up and down.
I don't know what's wrong with him. Why can't he get his team together?
Honestly, I still think it's the cornerback spot. Our front line is playing well. Our linebackers are holding their own. But if
I'm
you're
disappointed in Fletcher this year.
I'm not. I mean, he had a slow start. I'll admit that.
Right.
But he's starting to come on now.
There's not the same pressure, though. Last year, or the 2 years ago when we won the Super Bowl, it was just monstrous. Like, a lot more sacks and pressure.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I mean,
I don't know. Maybe I have higher expectations. I don't know.
But. Now, us saying about the coaches being fired and everything like that, if we fired Jim Schwartz, which I could see, which is kind of funny because he was talked about as a head coach last season before this beginning of this season, I wouldn't mind bringing back Ron Rivera, who was fired this past week.
Yeah, it's shocking. Too. I mean, the situation in Carolina to me is I don't understand how they're pinning that on Ron Rivera. Your star quarterback goes down. The team's in turmoil.
I think.
Well, right, but that's been the problem there forever.
Yeah.
But Ron Rivera put them in winning situations.
Yeah, but ever since that Super Bowl, they've just been average. They really haven't.
But that doesn't fall on him. That's on the quarterback.
No, that falls on him because he's got to send the plays in. I mean, granted, he's a defensive mind.
Right.
And that defense was up and down these past couple of years. But the funny thing now...
I don't think he's going to be on the market long.
No. I wouldn't be surprised if someone hires him before the Super Bowl. Maybe the week before Championship Sunday.
It's going to be interesting.
But I do find it funny that this whole season Cam Newton's been trying to rehab this foot and get back. And then Ron Rivera gets fired. Okay, I'll have the surgery now.
Right. Well,
to me,
obviously.
That's... I mean, like, why waste all that time?
His foot's his kryptonite.
Yeah. But I do want to give a little... kudos to the Panthers, though. I mean, they allowed Ron Rivera to do one last media conference, press conference, whatever you want to call it, to kind of allow him to say his goodbyes.
Right.
And he did. It was kind of cool. I only saw maybe a 15-second clip of it, and he had shirts. And, say the first paragraph of him talking was about missed opportunities, and he had a big shirt out, up. And then he's like, to all the players and the fans and everything. And then all the waterworks started. And he picked up his shirt and said, thank you. And he's like, thanks, guys. And, he walked off.
Well, I think it's a smart thing to do as an organization because if not, he could have did any interview he wanted and said anything he wanted.
And you really think about it with all the shit that had happened behind doors the past couple of years with the owner being racist, the David Gettleman with those players, bringing bad players in. Not once did the owner or Gettleman step in front of the media and give their takes or whatever. It was always Ron Rivera.
Right.
He to me, he took more responsibilities than just the head coaching job.
Right.
And
he's a class act.
He is. So. And he's a very smart defensive mind. So like I said, if we do get rid of Schwartz, which I don't think we should, I still think we should give one more year.
Right.
To turn this defense around and get the right players.
Well, they better draft right this year, and they better do something in free agency.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you right now.
Well, I think Howie should give up the drafting duties because I said duties, but
Pickle Rick.
like I said, with the Mac Hollins being released, that was the 2017 draft. Out of say 9 picks, there's only 2 left on the team.
Right.
Derek Barnett, which I think we could say turned out fine,
Right.
and some Nate Gary.
Right.
Our linebacker / safety who's
Right.
average. Everybody else, gone.
They got to draft better with the receivers, I'll tell you that much.
One guy is in the XFL, Pumphrey.
Nice.
Which I don't know if you saw those jerseys released.
Yeah, I mean, I took a look at them. They're nothing special, I'll tell you that.
I mean, I hope, and here's the thing, like everything that's been coming out with the XFL, these jerseys, the team names, the logos, everybody's making fun of it. And, everybody's right there to their own opinion. Have low expectations, though. This is not going to be NFL right out of the gate.
Well, that's the problem. You have such a superpower. For anything to compete, you need it to be almost as big as the NFL. And that's why none of these leagues have been prospering.
Yeah.
So what's the reasoning for watching? I mean, out of all the uniforms, I think 2 or 3 are real drab and plain. 2 kind of look alike. But if I were to pick the Tampa Bay Vipers jerseys, to me, and helmet are the best.
Yeah.
So, take it for what it's worth. It could also be because they're green. I don't know.
So you're going to go to a new green team?
Go figure, the Dallas team is blue.
Really? Yeah. Surprising.
So, I don't know. Like the DC Marauders or whatever they're called, they're just plain red with like really nothing on them.
Yeah.
I don't get it. So.
I mean, the only reason why I think it's going to be a success is the fact that they have a good TV deal. Some games
that's going to help
on ABC, where CBS Access or whatever,
right.
AAF, AFFA, bring it back.
Dun, 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 dun.
So
I'm open over here. I think some of those players are still trying to get health care.
I think they're still stuck at the airport.
Hello?
Yeah.
Like that movie, The Terminal.
Oh,
with Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Grabowski? I go now.
So I said about surprises and stuff. Devils head coach fired. Our old Wilkes-Barre Penguins.
Yeah, I mean,
alumni.
again, to me, I don't see it's on him. They bring in big draft picks and they haven't molded yet. Or brought in new talent, I mean. Like, they brought in Subban, they brought in your boy, but they have to mold.
I don't think this is just because of this year. I think it's accumulated.
But last year they were one of the better teams that they've been in the last decade.
No, that was 2 years ago.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking pish
but,
posh.
You bring in Taylor Hall, who's...
Well, he's on the trade block now, I heard.
Well, I bet now. You fire your head coach and you're pretty much out of playoffs already before even the halfway mark. And then you win the first pick of the draft last year and this year. You talking to a lot of Devils fans, and one of them being our friend King. I even flat out asked him, like, did you guys, what was your serious expectations going to this season? And he said it really felt like a playoff contending team.
Right.
And yeah, you look at the names, yeah, sure. You bring up about PK Subban.
Well, I was never a fan anyway, but I'm just saying he's supposed to be something special.
Gostisbehere, who a lot of Philly fans want to trade away, he actually got healthy scratch for 2 or 3 games last week. Actually has more points than Subban. Wayne, listen, I mean, I may joke that I hate him and everything because he's with the Devils, but I've always been a Simmons fan. He was my first Flyers fan.
I guess you're like Helen Keller over here.
But he's old. I mean, I understand why you picked that contract and everything.
Well,
wants to keep playing. Yeah. But I wasn't surprised. I normally hate, especially with the NBA, when head coaches get fired during season. I think it's stupid. But
I think it's too early.
But this one to me made sense just because of the past couple seasons. He just really hasn't been able to coach them.
I guess. I mean, we got rid of him for a reason.
Yeah.
So the Pens were like, all right, goodbye.
Yeah. I do want to bring this up. Last night, the Flyers blew out the Maple Leafs. Well, the final score was a blowout.
Who?
The Toronto Maple Leafs.
They still play?
Yeah, they had that John Tavares kid.
Who?
He's a nice up-and-comer. But I want to bring it up because I have to laugh. First two periods.
I think the Flyers, if I'm not mistaken, have the most wins in the last couple weeks.
Yeah, no, they've been really on fire. And Carter Hart, my boy Carter,
I'm on fire.
he's been on fire. But last night, I watched the first two periods down in the living room, whatever, and obviously I had to go to bed for work.
Good story.
I had it up on the TV, and I'm half passed out. We scored the second goal 10 minutes into the third period. Starting to fall asleep. Flyers score. All right, 3-1. 30 seconds there. 4-1. 2 minutes later. 5-1. I'm like, now I'm going to sit up and watch. They scored like 5 goals in like 3 minutes.
Right?
I mean, they just completely broke the Maple Leafs spirits. I only bring it up because your Penguins did it, 2 weeks ago? Or no, it was last week. They were down 6-0.
No, they were down 4 or 5-0, came back to win 6-5.
Yeah.
And
all in the last
third
period.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was.
Well, again, the Pens are starting to gel.
Yeah.
And Sid's going to come back eventually. I mean,
you should only have about 2 more weeks for Sid to be out.
I think it's going to be a good competition this year. I mean, they both look good. I ain't going to lie. Yeah. So we'll see, For all you hockey fans.
We're going to take a quick break here. But when we come back, we actually still have some more hockey talk for once. Did I say honky or did I say hockey?
I don't know. You're speaking. Pull me in on. Don't put that voodoo on me, Ricky Bobby.
So we'll be right back. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your good friend Jimbo from Stay Tuned Sports. Are you looking to get into writing or putting out podcasts to give you your hot takes or your opinion about certain subjects of the major sports or even e-gaming? Well, head over to bellyupsports.com and send the guys a message to get some information about how you could join our family. I've been part of the Belly Up Sports family since February, and I'll tell you what, it's a bunch of great guys and gals, help each other all out, and don't judge each other about what we put out there. So if you're interested, head over to bellyupsports.com, send a message to the guys. We're looking for writers, editors, even podcasters. So again, that is bellyupsports.com. Head over there, message them, and even read some of our articles. And welcome back after that quick little 30-second break.
Sell out.
Yeah, that's right. You don't like commercials, you little bitch. Pick a Rick! Quick story, since we both like Rick and Morty. My work is doing an expansion, and they're supposed to have the news up there and shit like that. And we're going to shut down for like an hour to clean up and everything. I was like, wait a second, there's going to be news people up here? They're like, yeah. I'm like, videotaping everything? They're like, yeah, but we're not allowed back there. I'm like, oh, man, I can't just run back there and be like, I'll Pickle Rick! So
we have to let you go, Jimbo.
And they're like, that's why we're giving you the free day off.
Exactly why you're not allowed back there.
So right before we went to the break, I said we still have a little bit more hockey talk, and
hockey?
I had to make sure I said it the right way this time.
Yeah. Play that funky music, white boy. What'd you call me?
So there's been this past week or so.
Hockey.
This past week or so, there's been stories coming out of coaches basically abusing players, and whether it's verbal or.
I thought I'd never see the day where hockey turned
really
into their safe place.
And here's the thing. Here's my opinion about it. Verbal part of it, depending on what the words were. Like if you're using racial slurs like that, yeah, to me you shouldn't be using that stuff.
Right.
But if you're like, you dumbass, you're offsides. Like, come on.
Yeah, my Pee-wee football coach used to say worse.
Yeah.
And his name was Dumpster Dan. Because he had like a garbage business. I swear to God.
Thank you for adding that end part there, because it sounded like freaking Foley from Saturday Night Live. I live in a van down on the
Yeah, pretty much. And he looked like he collected garbage. No offense to garbage collectors.
But the one story that came out was came out in the New York Post with Sean Avery saying his former coach Crawford physically hit him and stuff like that for too many. Like the one incident he talked about was it was too many men on the ice, and as soon as he came off the ice, he started verbally abusing him.
How was that again?
But he said that he didn't even have him serve the penalty, and sure enough, they got scored on. Came down and kicked him in the butt, which left a mark. I swear he quoted that. It left a mark.
To me, though, it's not the only coach. There's a bunch of teams coming out with this all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Why all of a sudden?
Because one of the former players is
#Me Too?
Basically.
Jesus.
Trying to bring awareness to mental illness for hockey players and physical illness or something like that. Like you said, it's the
same guys that get their teeth knocked out of their mouth and play the next 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here, we'll put this on ice for you. Thank you. And they go back out and play. Like, they're some of the toughest guys in the world. I don't get it.
So, obviously, this is going league-wide, and teams are investigating it. The Calgary Flames.
Who do they got? Mr. Magoo investigating?
Hey, he's cool, man. Leave him alone. I heard Juan likes him.
Or the hamburger guy? I'll gladly pass this investigation if you give me a hamburger on Tuesday.
But like I said, the Flames coach was the first one to admit to it and then be fired. And
so he was literally on fire.
And I believe...
Well, I'd be abusive in Calgary, too. What the hell have they done?
That's true. And then...
What'd he say? You guys are a bunch of flamers. Well, yeah, Coach.
We're so going to lose listeners.
I was talking about flaming fire.
But the Seattle GM, who the team hasn't even played yet, he's under investigation because he was on the Flames when this happened, and he may have knew about it.
That's why he left and started his own team.
Yeah. Now, the Flyers' assistant coach, Tyrion, I think Mark Tyrion.
Yeah, Tyrion.
The Flyers came out and said they're not investigating him because
he's one hell of a model American.
Well, he did admit that he didn't admit it, but some of the players, his former players, did come out and say, yes, he was one of those type of players, but they've seen him change his ways, and now he's not physical.
What kind of world are we like? If we go to another world war, we're screwed.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going out there to fight.
I need my 20-minute break.
My drill sergeant yelled at me.
We're gonna need like a safe space in the war zone.
Yeah. I'm time out. I'm over here. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, again, if you don't want I could see sexual abuse or like physical abuse. All right, I get it.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna, if you're in a high intensity sport, and if I'm like, get it together, asshole, and you're like,
yeah,
like, then don't play.
And
don't make the millions.
Yeah.
Get off the ice. I don't know.
And that's why I wanted to bring this.
I guess I'm just a hardened prick.
Well, I mean, to me, no. I mean, I'm taking this the same side as you because, like I just said, say you make a bad play and I call you a dumbass. You're gonna go cry to the league now,
right.
Like. Again, if the coach drops the N-word, like where
right,
all started,
there's lines you don't cross.
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah.
If we still have to teach people that in today's age, then, but if you're a goddamn moron, what are you doing? Like,
yeah,
it's kind of expected. Like these coaches are under high pressure, so are the players. You're
yeah.
going to tell me no players ever called the coach a name?
And that was another point I was going to bring up. Like, say Coach A comes up to you and calls you a dumbass, and you lean over to me as he walks away. He's a dick. He's a prick. Well, you're just as much in the wrong as he is then.
Right.
But
I didn't say it to his face.
And that's what they'll say.
Right, but they do. There's been fights and arguments. It's like any relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. But it's not like there's like a couple coaches getting called out now.
Yeah. And I'm actually kind of worried about my Flyers coach, because you could see he has that high intensity when he gets pissed. Obviously, you can't hear him because it's all 4-letter words and everything. But I know last year when Hackstall was our head coach, those veterans like Voracek and the older vets liked him because they never stood up to him.
Right.
And I'm not saying mentally putting players down and standing up to them, but it gets their mind right. Like, they say...
Right, sometimes you get put in check.
Yeah.
I mean, guess what it's going to be is offsides. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2,
Exactly.
3.
Yeah.
What the hell's bothering me?
Or-
Voracek, could you not do that again? Like,
Or they're going to have to go into the freaking...
they're going to have to do another penalty box for coaches.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh. I didn't understand him. I am offended. I'm not offended. I'm offended. I
Are you
can't
making
do
fun
this.
of me?
Yeah.
Are you making fun of me?
My third cousin has a speech impediment.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Listen,
I mean,
there's got to be some kind of balance and equality. I know it's a workplace, but you're playing a high-profile sport, and I think you need a little thicker skin.
and I just hope that these coaches that may have, and I'm doing air quotes, crossed the line,
Right.
don't get fired for saying, dumbass, like,
Right.
for stupid words,
Right.
not the N-word, not
But
racial
if you're
slurs.
doing something personal like that, like racial slurs or,
Yeah. Then,
you
I think they need to
right.
be fired.
And I mean, I can go as far as the physical, too. Nobody should be putting your hands on you.
Yeah. Now...
Or kicking people in the buttocks.
You leave it a mark. But
He hit me right here in the buttocks.
So let me ask you this, though. Should it be flat out, let's just say, kick them in the buttocks? Should it be a flat out firing, or do you think NHL should step in and be like, no, you're suspended for this many games without pay?
I think it's got to be a collaboration between the team and the NHL. Because how's it, it's got to be how they want to deal with it.
Because if you think about it, okay, if you're going to fire a coach for, you dumbass, how would you handle if the player looked at the coach and be like, you dumbass, why don't you put this guy out there?
Well, right. But again, it's never going to be a two-way street.
But
so,
I know the world's not right, but it should be. It should be
right in a perfect world.
Yeah.
I don't know how you police that. That's again, it's something with sports anymore that we're always talking about a subject that, to me, it's like, why are we even talking about this?
Yeah, this should be something that should have been handled behind closed doors.
Right.
Like this, Sean Avery should have went to the GM or the owner and be like, hey, listen, this is what's going on. I don't want to put it out there. Can we work on this together so I don't have to go out there? And then, go from there. But we're here.
Right.
And I think it's only going to get worse. I think
it's going to be around the world. I mean, with anything and everything, it's just, I think as a world nation, country, whatever you want to use, we're becoming to the point of where babying everybody.
Yeah, no, we are.
And I'm all about protecting those who need protection, and I'm not trying to say that, but it's like you also need, like, a man through time and a woman, there was different roles, this, that, and other thing. I'm not saying we're not equal, time out. Yeah. But we're genetically programmed to be the warrior.
Yeah.
Generally.
Yeah.
So we're trying to take all that warrior fight out of people. I don't get it. It's just we're weakening.
Yeah.
Again, it's... I just don't get it. There's other people work in factories and stuff like that get abused way worse, and for next to nothing, and trying to make a living for their family, and nothing's done.
Yeah.
Why don't we start with the real problems instead of these overpriced people who are crying?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm kind of surprised that me and you agree that... I don't know. I lost my train of thought for a second.
That we both agree that it's getting ridiculous.
Yeah. So Tuesday, the college football playoff rankings came out.
Uh-oh. Here we go, folks.
Yep.
Get your popcorn.
Get your popcorn because this guy right here was right about Ohio State.
All right, we'll see where they go.
So
I listened to the episode twice just to make sure what you said last week, and you're like, I'm not saying they're going to win a national championship, but they're going to make the playoffs.
I'm not saying that yet. I'll wait till Sunday when they have the final rankings.
Well, it's not, what matters, I'll tell you this right now, is somebody in the top 4 is going out.
Yeah.
Because we have LSU versus Georgia.
Yeah.
And that's the game of games right now.
Yeah. So let's start with that one. Out of those two teams, who do you want to see in the playoffs? Like, obviously, they would have to win this match.
I have to be honest with you. My son, for some big reason this year, is really gotten into LSU. Carter.
Well, no, I know, but I'm trying to think why.
He caught a couple of games, and he thinks they're good. His prediction, and he's like, Dad, I need to be on the show. I want to talk about LSU. He's like, they're going to win the championship this year.
If they do, we're going to start using him for betting, which we'll get to later in the episode.
Hey, it's my son. Back off.
It's my godson, asshole.
So, I'm rooting for them for him because I have no betting interest. But I love Clemson. So, we'll see how they do.
I don't like Clemson after Dabo's, we're held onto a different standard. A 3-loss team will get in above us even if we run the tape. Shut the fuck up.
Well, it's kind of true. That's my point last week.
You're saying Utah will get
Alabama has 2 losses, and for some reason they put them in the playoffs and kicked Clemson out. That's fair.
At the time, last week they only had 1 loss before the Auburn game. Now they have 2 losses.
Right, they just lost to like a nobody.
They lost to Auburn, who was 15th.
I didn't think it was Auburn.
Yeah. Well, last week was Auburn.
Right.
Yeah. So now Bama's completely out of the playoff race.
Well, I'm upset.
Yeah.
We should call up Big Hit Rob. He's a big fan.
Fuck, man. I forgot to text him about that. I do have to text him about the Jameson's going to owe me for Cleveland Browns, but anyways.
He's never paying.
No, I know. I want Georgia to win because for some reason I like Georgia. Like their team. They seem nasty.
They're gritty. Yeah.
Gritty, yeah.
But I like LSU, man. It's been a while since they've been great. And
yeah.
I like that coach. So
that's the only reason why I would love to see
I like to see them 2 in the championship game, but this next game ruins it. So for all intent and purposes, this is our championship, Jimbo.
Yeah, basically. Because you have Ohio State number 1, and then you have Clemson number 4.
No, Clemson's 3.
Or 3, Georgia's 4, yeah.
5 is Utah, and 6 is Oklahoma.
I
don't think those 2 teams should be there, but okay.
I mean, out of those 2 teams, I would take Oklahoma to be up there. Right. I think it would be our right game. Utah, I'm just bleh.
So 2 and 4 are playing, and somebody's got to go.
Yeah, and I'm hoping Utah loses also because
if it's a close game, let me ask you a question. Say it's 34-32.
Okay.
For whatever the winner. Do we say that team that loses should be out then?
Glad you brought that up because I was just thinking the only way we could get those 2 teams still in the playoffs is if LSU loses. 2 losses to Georgia, they will not be in the playoffs.
Right.
But LSU's undefeated, and if they lose a close game, I think they could possibly stay at 4, just because they're number 2 right now. Clemson could jump up to 2 with a Georgia win.
I mean, it's out of our hands, let's face it. It all comes down to a voting system I don't understand.
Yeah. So, I mean, to me, the voting
Secret
system...
squirrel stuff.
The voting system is basically the NFL refs go into a room and say, okay, is this pass interference? Let's see. But like I said, I just don't think Utah will be a good team in the playoffs.
I mean, I didn't study them enough this year. I don't want to put them down, but I didn't see any big games for them.
Yeah.
They weren't on any late games. They weren't any primetime games, period.
Yeah.
So who did they play?
Exactly. That's what I mean. I just don't think I think it'll be a blowout. I think it will be Notre Dame, Clemson from last year.
Right.
Whoever they play in those rankings.
Well, speaking of Auburn, what's up with they're getting fined?
Dude, talk about bullshit. Like, when I saw this pissed me off. Now, before we get into it, though, but did you see any of the videos of the girls jumping into the bushes?
No.
There was 2 older ladies, I want to say in their 50s. Yay, we won! They jumped in the bush, and it was like they're trying to move the hedges out of the way, but they're not moving. And I'm like, just go back up to your seats. The other one, the girl was on the cement part, about to jump into the bush or try to jump over. She just went whoosh, just like the Homer Simpson meme. You just lost all sight of her till the camera zoomed in, and she's sitting like, help, I can't move, type thing. But so what happened was obviously Auburn beat Alabama in a big rivalry game,
Right.
and they were fined $250,000 because the students stormed the field.
But every college athletic
Thank you.
has had it since the dawn of time.
Thank you. And NCAA has this rule put in place since 2004, and the reason why they got fined $250,000 is because it was their fourth offense. First offense is $50,000, and basically goes 50,000 increments. So what? I mean, like it was a huge victory.
To me, what does the NCAA have to do with that? That comes down to the stadium and the stadium security and their preferences.
Because of this policy they put in place to protect the student body, the players.
But that's none of their business, in my point. You're running a football league. You have nothing to do with the campus and the way the stadium's operated.
Yeah.
It's my opinion.
But yet, like, the was a Harvard and Yale game 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you saw about that. About
right.
The student body storming the field to protest climate change. Shut the fuck up.
Right, but where's that?
You didn't hear them get fined.
Well, no, because they were protesters.
Exactly.
Again, every league seems to have their own goddamn agenda.
Yeah.
So it's okay to be a political asshole, but you can't celebrate with your team.
Yeah. Now, me and you talked a couple times about how NCAA with all these bowl games are just money makers and that.
Right.
And supposedly this money won't go to them. It's supposed to go into a student scholarship fund.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I want to see receipts, bitch.
Right.
You know? Like, now, if Alabama...
The student scholarship of me getting a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Woo!
I just wonder how much of... Shit, Alabama's not going to be in the playoffs now. Let's take it out on them type deal. Because, Alabama, if they would have won and their students stormed the field, they would never have been fined.
Well, again, whoever's the head of the NCAA is like a Goodell then, and we need it fixed.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. Get Juan over there to run it. And actually, I was somewhat incorrect. It wasn't NCAA, it was SEC that fined them. So
it's even worse.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
People, if you would just saw
the Southern Highway Fund is now fining you $50,000 because your bus tire. What?
Smoke just came out of his ears, blowing off his headset. I had never seen that face before, and I've said a lot of stupid shit to him before. But yeah, I had to put that story in there because I knew you would get a reaction out of it, and I just think it's freaking stupid. I mean, granted, okay, yes, maybe it's going back to a scholarship fund, but again, it wasn't like Alabama beat Duke. It was a rivalry game, and a very close rivalry game. Jesus Christ. Shoulders.
Sorry about that, folks.
he just threw his $1,200 amplifier across the room. He's so pissed off over this.
They got me this fired up.
The last time I seen that fired up was when he wanted to fight the New York Knicks owner, which...
It's still on. It's time!
Are you ready to rumble?
So, I don't know.
So, one last story.
Maybe it's not. Maybe I got a story.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see here. Arizona Cardinal player, because I'm not even sure what position he plays, was suspended indefinitely for gambling.
Pulled a Pete Rose.
That's why I want to talk about this. Because he's suspended the rest of this year indefinitely. Well, obviously indefinitely. Who hasn't even played a down for them yet. I mean, to me, yeah, it should be the Pete Rose deal. Now, granted, he's appealing it. I think he put the appeal in yesterday.
I don't understand what he's appealing. I mean, it's simple. You have policy. You cannot gamble on games that your team's playing.
But he didn't bet on them. He bet against them. And then how and then another, like...
He's my hero.
Another side note, though...
What's he doing? Putting Visine in everybody's water bottle?
Another side note, though, is like... how do you walk back into that locker room? Hey guys, I bet against you. You know what I mean?
I put $1 million on Miami against the Eagles. Are you nuts?
And what,
No.
What it was he put it as a 3-team parlay or something, and it was he took the Buccaneers to go over, and they didn't even come close or something like that. It was like a $10,000 bet. But yeah, I mean, to me, hey, this is the Pete Rose thing. You should be spent from the league
He's
indefinitely.
done. I'm sorry.
And I mean,
It's one rule I actually agree with, that you're stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's a Larry Fitzgerald or anything anyway, so he doesn't have the name to keep him around.
Well, regardless, though, you broke the rules. That's Claude Iron rules. I mean, you can't... How can you argue that?
Claude Iron rules?
You should talk over there.
Hey,
Auburn? I mean, Auburn.
when I get
See,
my
folks,
chance...
I don't call him out on his shortcomings.
Yeah, you do, you asshole. But yeah, no, I just wanted to bring it up. I thought, I think he should be... Yeah,
Absolutely. There's nothing to argue. What's he going to appeal? How did they catch it, I want to know.
You really want to know?
Yes.
He put the bet in with the casino. When they found out who he was, they knew the rules that he's not allowed to do it. And they snitched.
We keep your money.
Yeah. And the funny part, though, he must have pissed off somebody, because it wasn't the first time. It was Caesar's Casino. It wasn't the first time he put a bet in with them, because he has a player's card with them. For some reason this time, he must have pissed off somebody.
Right.
And they said, Mr. Goodell, we have some inside information for you.
Yeah, he was like, oh, get out of here, Bill Belichick. What do you need?
I was going to say Robert Kraft.
Anyway, enough of those overpriced bums. Here's my last story for the day.
Okay.
Here in northeastern Pennsylvania,
Ooh.
we have 2 high school teams. One playing tomorrow night, one playing Friday.
I know it was
for a state championship. So we have the chance in a 10 air mile square radius to have 2 schools state champions. One being the Dallas Mountaineers, and the other one being my alma mater, Wyoming Area Warriors.
Oh, it was them?
Yeah.
'Cause I remember seeing
the Warriors are double A, and the Mountaineers are single A.
Yeah.
They're a smaller school, but they're playing Thomas Jefferson. They're out near Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And it's funny, the last time they went and won a state championship was 93. That's the team they played.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So my son's pumped up, obviously. So I wish all the luck in the world to the Dallas Mountaineers. They have a really good squad this year. They battled hard through the state playoffs, and they're in the championship tomorrow night. I believe it's 7 p.m. Thursday night, which is odd.
Yeah, you think it would be Friday night.
Right, but
or
they have so many
Saturday.
state championship games that's the way it rolls.
I guess.
There's actually a game before them Thursday at like 2 or 3. Talk about those schools getting...
I mean, I will say, when I went to high school at Coughlin, Berwick was our biggest rival.
Right.
But Dallas was like kind of our second because of the head coach, Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I never liked that fucker.
He was a hard-nosed guy.
Just because he was such a good coach.
But you know why they got rid of him?
Why?
Because he was so harsh with their players.
So, we could have predicted all the shit that's happening now back then.
Right.
God.
But, I mean, it's good. Wyoming Area's playing Friday night.
Yeah.
And then there's games Saturday, too. But so I wish both teams the best of luck. I would like to see 2 championships come back to Northeast PA.
Oh, yeah.
State titles. We're not talking play. They're through the playoffs.
Yeah.
This is, it's amazing. So, what a bunch of group of kids, man.
Yeah.
So,
I want to send my good luck to them as well. Like I said, I mean, Dallas may have been our rival, but I would like to see the same thing that you just.
I tell you what I wish they would do in the making is no matter the outcome, and I know it's different, single A and double A, but Wyoming Area and Dallas used to be in the same.
Yeah.
Dallas stayed at single A and they're at double A or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Wyoming Area versus Dallas.
But yeah, I mean, kind of like what UFC did with the baddest motherfucker belt, which belt was all right, but anyways, just make that.
Right.
And maybe every year
I wish they
the
would
top
play.
2 teams of the state that win, Division A, Division 2, go after it.
Right.
Like kind of a
Yeah.
fucking brain fart again. Pickle Rick.
So listen, man, these kids worked hard. I know the Dallas Mountaineers went 15-0. They beat a charter prep school in the first round down from Philadelphia. Then they went against Jersey Shore, beat them pretty bad.
Okay.
Wyoming area beat their last game pretty bad. I think it was Montoursville or somebody.
Yeah, they're a pretty good school every year.
So, I mean, I just really want to see it. I hope they win it. So hopefully next show we can have a little celebration.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get the star running back from Dallas to come on the show.
And if he doesn't come on, I'll bring a bottle of Jameson because we can't have minors around alcohol.
I could make it happen. But again, I just wish them luck. Go Mountaineers, go Warriors.
All right, so any other stories?
No, that's
it. Okay. I mean, I don't want to step on your toes.
I'm just trying to report the real news here, folks.
This is 2 weeks in a row that you're back with with us and everything. I don't want to scare you away or anything. So before we go, head over to Twitter.
You can only see my expression right now.
Head over to Twitter. Follow us there at ST Sports Podcast. Follow myself at Jimbo ST Sports.
Shoulders O'Brien.
Please. Go follow him. He looks like a lost puppy dog every time he gives his Twitter handle out.
It is what it is.
Head over to Facebook, like and share our page there, as well as our YouTube channel. You could hear us on iTunes, Spotify, supposedly Google Play, even though I can't find it.
I don't think it's Google Play. You got to go, like I said, I told you that one episode. You got to find it a different way. I think it's just that actually you search it like you would for music.
Yeah.
It's different. It's not on Play. It's on something else. I don't know.
So,
but hey, if you have any problems, drop us a line. We'll try to help you get the link up.
Yeah.
So we're all over the place.
So till tomorrow, because I'll have our MMA show because Mr. Conor McGregor is coming back. Me and you may have to watch that fight because that's going to be a good fight.
I heard it was off now.
Why? I mean, he has the sexual allegations going on still.
No, they just said it was a big story. They said it was canceled. His UFC debut back is not going to happen. So check that out. He'll have something.
Dude, I don't know who's worse, Conor McGregor or freaking Antonio Brown. Holy Jesus!
Maybe they should fight.
So till tomorrow, this is your good friend Jimbo.
Peace in the Northeast.
See you later.